Aloha and good morning. My name is Jürgen Steinmetz, joining you from livestream.travel in cooperation with the World Tourism Network here in Honolulu, Hawaii. And I see we have people from all over the place. I see guests as far as from the UAE joining us this morning to talk about wedding and honeymoon. This is the first session, and it's a public session for every member to attend, led by Nancy Barkley, and she runs our World Tourism Network interest groups for wedding, honeymoon, or better destination weddings. But of course, all of you know is big business and is continuing even with Corona in place virtually. I've heard from several sites. So we're living in interesting times, and of course, for usually you only get married most people only get married once in their life. So it's something very special and deserves a lot of attention because that kind of informs a person for the rest of their life. And you wanted to make sure that your wedding, specifically if it's not at home, and your honeymoon is just absolutely fantastic. And people like Nancy knows the right people in the travel industry to assure this, and we talk about it a little bit more. For those of you that are not joining us live, you can still do this. If for you now, I know we repeat this, so I'm going to say now it's Saturday, February 27th. It's 9:30 a.m. here in Hawaii. That makes it 2:30 p.m. in New York or 7:30 p.m. in London. And if you listen to us right at this time live, you can still go to worldtourismevents.com. You find the wedding and honeymoon tourism picture with Nancy, and you can click on it and still join us if you like. Otherwise, feel free to watch us online if you're on Facebook on eTurbo News. And after this event, we'll edit it and we're going to include some other additional information, also from Sandals Resort, one of our sponsors. You will find, and then this will be repeated for the next 24 hours till we actually go to Africa tomorrow, and we're going to introduce Africa and the members of the African Tourism Board with Cuthbert Nkuba joining us. That will be tomorrow on Sunday. And then both events will be repeated till we get to our big celebration on March 5th, when actually this organization, Rebuilding.travel, this discussion is ongoing now for 1 year. We started on March 5th of 2020 in Berlin, the sideline of an ITB trade show that never happened, but our event happened at the Grand Hyatt Hotel. And here we are a year later. I don't want to say we're pleased or proud of it because it has not been a very easy year for everyone. And everyone wishes we wouldn't have to have this discussion, but we're here and we're continuing it as long as it's necessary to get our industry back on track. So without further ado, I wanted to introduce Nancy Barkley, but Nancy has been working very hard on our destination wedding interest groups. You can join if you're a member of World Tourism Network. Go to WTN.travel and click on join. You can join the interest group, or if you haven't joined WTN, of course, join WTN and you can click on the interest group. Then you're part of Nancy's initiative. Good morning, good afternoon, Nancy. How are you? I think you have to unmute yourself. Okay, I think you're muted, Nancy.
Oh, can you
There
hear
we
me
go.
now?
Okay, now we can hear you.
Perfect. Thank you. So, to introduce myself, my name is Nancy Barkley, and I am owner and founder of Honeymoons and Getaways, and I'm based in Philadelphia. I have been dedicated to the hospitality industry for 25 years. I'm a certified destination wedding planner and honeymoon planner, and I also sit on the board of the International Destination Wedding Planners Association. Um, I started Honeymoons and Getaways in 2005, and travel, destination weddings, really my passion. And I am just so thankful to Jurgen for this opportunity because, like everybody else, I'm sure we all have stories of last year when the pandemic hit. I know myself, I had so many couples, eloping and marriages and the stress and the changes and the cancellations. And so I don't want to dwell on that. This is all about, hope for 2021 and moving forward. So when I joined the World Tourism Network, I was so inspired by some of the Zooms, and I saw some of the interest groups, and I thought, why not have one for honeymoons and destination weddings? They encompass so many people in the tourism industry, and so much of us depend on tourism. So here we are, and I truly hope this is the first of many Zoom meetings. And we wanted to try to do this as a roundtable discussion to really, the way we were going to do it, rather than have a panel discussion, is everyone has their own story and their own, how they're handling things. And I truly believe we're all in this together. So my thoughts were, if you have something that you would like to contribute, share tips, strategize, what's working, thoughts, ideas, to raise your hand in the chat box. And then Jurgen will put the, speaker over to you, and you can introduce yourself, and that's pretty much the format of how the Zoom's going to go. And the first person, because I do have a first person, and I'm so excited to meet you finally on Zoom and see your smiling face, but I wanted to introduce, and please, it's Mario. I said it incorrectly. I am so sorry. You correct me and you say it, but you're with the Barcelona Tourism Board for weddings, and I'm sure there are people from all over the world around here and so many beautiful destinations, but Barcelona is truly one of them. So tell us all about weddings and the pivot from 2020 to 2021, and why couples should get married in beautiful Barcelona.
Hi everyone, hello from Barcelona. Thanks for this invitation, Nancy and Jürgen. I am Mireia from Barcelona Tourism Board. We are the official body responsible for the promoting the city. And since 5 or 6 years ago, we start with a new division. We start promoting Barcelona for destination weddings. So we have been attending different events around the world. I met Nancy a few years ago. And we fully believe that Barcelona is a very good destination because the weather conditions, also the connectivity and the culture, the history, the amazing gastronomy. So at the tourism board, we are also devoted with this specific niche of destination weddings. Also, we help destination wedding planners if they are considering Barcelona for a wedding. We can help them. We have all the knowledge of the city, the contacts, and everything. So if they have any question, we can help them in terms of finding the best venues, if they are looking for historical venues, or also outdoor venues, because as I mentioned, we have very good weather conditions, and also we have castles, vineyards, we can do weddings near the sea, also in the heart of the city, in the historical Gothic quarter, for example, or whatever. So as you can see, Barcelona, it's plenty of opportunities. Also, we can help them to introduce the best wedding suppliers in Barcelona. In our program, we have a specific members. They have passed a very strict control of quality because we are focused on high-end weddings, and we prefer the quality, not the quantity. So all our members, of course, they speak English, they have experience dealing with different cultures, Indian weddings, Jewish weddings from US or from all over the world, UA. So if they are looking for specific caterings, photographers, or whatever, we can help them. So if you have any question during this Zoom, just feel free, or later I can give you my email, and I will be pleased to help you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Is there anybody else that would like to introduce themselves and have anything that they would like to contribute as far as weddings or honeymoon tourism? What's working, what's not working, how you're shifting from 2020 to 2021?
And I see, we have a lot of people here from different parts of the world. I would think maybe could contribute something. And I know maybe going back to Barcelona also, Barcelona is such a diversified city, and you have so much to offer because you mentioned it's not only Barcelona. You have castles. It's not only the large hotels and you have all kinds of weddings. I mean, you also have weddings for the LGBT. I think you have been leading the world on for this group. So maybe tell
Exactly.
us a little bit more about, and this is now about normal times. Now, times are not normal, obviously, nowhere in the world. And I also know we have reported about virtual weddings. Are there virtual weddings in Barcelona taking place right now? Is this something you guys have explored for bad times like now?
Not yet, not really, to be honest. So now at the tourism board, we are trying to focus on the recovery because, as you know, with this COVID-19 around the world, everything has stopped. So first, we have to wait until the connections will be recovered. And then at the tourism board, we are focusing on domestic tourism. Then we will be focusing in the European tourism and then worldwide. So at the moment in Barcelona and in Spain, we are still under alert until May, more or less. So this, it means that congresses and big events, they are not allowed. Most of the weddings or destination weddings that are celebrated in Barcelona are symbolic. So at the moment, it's not allowed to do it real. And people, they are preferring to postpone for 21, the end of 21, or even 22. So we are not celebrating virtual weddings, because a destination wedding, as you already know, it's like a big celebration or a small celebration. Could be also intimate, of course, but you want to celebrate with your best friends, with your family. And at the moment, virtual, we are not doing anything here in Barcelona.
Yeah, I know I can share with you here in Hawaii also, weddings are a big market here for us in Hawaii. As of yesterday, the regulations have changed that we can have groups now of 10 people. What is not a huge group for a wedding, but we used to have 5, so it's better from 5. And the way virtual weddings are promoted is with a group of 10 of close family members or friends, and the rest attending in a virtual way. You can of course do this beautifully on in a beach setting and so forth. And but it's not, obviously it's not the real thing. You want to have all your friends and wedding. You want to dance and you want to have some wine. And I know you have a lot of good wine in Barcelona, so I can understand there are different times. And I'm mourning for you because my niece in Germany is getting married, and she wanted to actually celebrate her wedding, as far as I know, in Barcelona in June. So we're bracing with you that everything in June is going to look a lot better, and we all praise there. But maybe we can get some feedback. I see our good friend Diana here from Community Tourism and Peaceful Tourism in Jamaica, and she always has something good to say. And I don't know, community tourism and destination wedding, is this a combination, Diana, in Jamaica? You might want to unmute yourself.
Yes, I just wanted to share with you that we have had in the past some wonderful examples of village weddings where visitors came and they had a wedding in the village with the village church, with the village people, and the community cooked their wedding dinner or lunch, whatever it may be. And then we planned for them a community vacation where they could stay either in homestays or in small hotels, and even with Sandals. I mean, we did a combination where they spent part-time with Sandals and part-time in the community. So it was very successful because the community were very hospitable and the food was great. And so they got a chance to experience the culture. So what we're going to do now is to revive that, especially with our local people, the residents who want to have some unique experiences rather than be stuck at home. We are able to take them into a community. So I just wanted to share that, and we're willing to collaborate with Nancy and everyone. Anyone interested, we'd love to work together with you. Thank you.
Yeah, and that's a really good thing that you do work with guys like Sandals. We're going to be showing, for those that are watching us on archive and not live, you will be seeing a video from Sandals Resort about their weddings. And I wanted to thank Sandals for being a sponsor and a good friend. And they have been really going out of their way to keep their resorts, all-inclusive resorts, safe, not only in Jamaica, all over the Caribbean. And I think many of us around the world can learn from the ethics and the business practices of Sandals Resort based in Jamaica. Now, we have a number of other guests here, and I'm just wondering, I don't want to put you guys on the spot, but we only are a small live group.
Okay. Or do you want to, can you go in the middle of the week, or would you prefer to have weekends, like Saturday to Saturday? Would you prefer that, or are you able to travel?
Can you say who's talking so we know who we
I
can?
think somebody.
Good. Okay, sometimes the air comes in a little better. Oh, good.
I think somebody needs to mute themselves.
Maybe it's someone different. Okay, so I don't know.
Oh, good.
Oh, okay. So maybe I think it was someone here by mistake unmuted. I thought we had a question. So, all right. Okay.
Would anybody like to contribute? The shift that they're seeing from weddings or honeymoons in 2020 to 2021, as far as virtual components. Do you think they're smaller? Any feedback from that? I'd really like to get some discussion of sharing ideas. Nobody. There's people from all over the world. I see Ghana. I see Sri Lanka. I see so many places. Or you just shy that you don't want to? Do you want to message it in the chat room and I'll relay the message?
Yeah, and we can maybe we can even go around and ask some of the participants here online how weddings are performed in their destination. You don't have to be a wedding planner really to to say something. Maybe our Professor Snow White, I always get her on. She's such a lovely lady and has been contributed so much to what we're doing. She's based in Serbia and she runs our educational forum. And I know a lot of couples need a lot of education, but maybe away from education, how do you perform an wedding market and destination wedding market in Serbia in your part of the world, Professor Snow White?
Good evening to everyone. Weddings are very important for Serbian people, especially in the rural areas, because weddings are with 200-300 people, 500 people. In some parts, they are going on for 2 or 3 days, but it was before. As last year and this year is still not normal. And now it can be only 10 persons for weddings. So many weddings from 2020 were postponed from the first half of the year to the second half of the year. And then many young people, they just had a very intimate celebration with a few people, but they're saying that they postponed their wedding for the 2021 when they are going to have a big celebration. So it is very important. And young people of Serbia, they like to travel abroad for a wedding. But we don't have many, how can I say, foreign organizers of wedding. We don't have the programs for the foreign countries. So mostly they're going through internet, seeking for the good destinations. And Spain is very good destination for wedding for Serbian people. Greece, Spain, and Turkey as well. So mostly very young people are going abroad for wedding, but the others are mostly staying at home, I mean, in Serbia. So it is a very big market, but we don't have many specialized agencies for wedding and honeymoon. Maybe few of them, which is not enough because in Serbia we have nearly 8 million people. So maybe it will be to find the way how to propose your products for the wedding to the market of Serbia, of course, for the end of 2021 or so. I think that it is very important to have a good wedding, of course, and especially honeymoon. And because of that, it will be very important to have a real agency who is dealing with that. Because mostly people are having a wedding, they plan it themselves. They don't use any agency or anything like that. They plan it for themselves. They find a place and they find where to go and such a thing. So I think that there is a market for honeymoon planners here in Serbia.
Well, that was
Maybe
my
it is a
hope
good information
to
to be.
network. That was my hope with this, was to network and to have the interest group. So you had said from Serbia, what parts of Europe do the couples like to go to marry or honeymoon?
They like to go, as Serbia is a rural country, I mean continental country, we don't have a sea, and people mostly they like to go to the sea countries, like as I said to you, Greece, Spain, Barcelona is very well known.
Barcelona. See,
Yes,
Mm.
of course,
you
yes,
just made a connection.
yes, yes, and the Turkey, and they also like long haul destination Hawaii as well, but
Okay.
Serbian people need a visa for United States.
Mm.
So
Right.
sometimes, it's not good for the travelers, especially for the youngsters, because they don't get the visas very easily for United States. But they prefer hot countries with sandy beaches, to be a real honeymoon. So
Yeah,
Right.
it's how
yeah,
we think in Serbia.
yeah, and then of course the visa is an entire other issue, and I think we're going to also see some changes here after COVID. That maybe the visa is would be less required on economic issues than on health issues in the future, and that could be another, of course, a completely different discussion. But maybe Nancy, you can tell us, why do we need wedding planners? I think Professor Snowhite brought this up already. Why we need wedding planners? Well, can you just plan your own wedding? Why do you need wedding planners? You pay extra money for that, right? I'm just
Yeah.
trying to.
Well, first of all, we're professionals, and it is a profession. So certified wedding planners is just, we go through all the classes and trainings. It's just like, do you really need to hire a lawyer? So we are the pros for everything, especially when you get most of my 99% of my destination weddings are international. So it's all about relationships and collaborating. If you're having a wedding in Spain, in Barcelona, or all the beautiful places you mentioned in Greece and in Turkey, I'll be traveling again to Turkey. Beautiful place to have a wedding. You really need to have one point of contact to put everything together, especially if you're going to have a legal wedding, because documentation is so important. You need to know, what are the requirements. Each country is different, but you need to have residency in the country. You need to some have translated. That's just the part of the getting married. Then you need to find the perfect venue. So you're going to get married in Barcelona. Do you want to have it at an outdoor event, or do you want to have it at one of their beautiful resorts? Then you need to have relationships with florists, with photographers, the hotel contracts, the insurance. There are so many components to a destination wedding. I always say we take the stress on for you, so you don't have to do the stress. You don't have to stress about anything. But I highly recommend having a wedding planner.
I'm also, Nancy, totally agree with you because when you do destination weddings, you have to be in mind that usually you are you have different cultures in a destination wedding. Sometimes the bride and the groom, they are from different cultures, and you are doing the wedding in a different country. So sometimes until 3 different cultures. So if you have a destination wedding planner that can help you to ensure everything, and this destination wedding planner can work directly with locals, it will be easier because each country, it have their own rules, their own paperwork and protocols. And also now with the COVID-19, also it will be different everywhere. So it's better if you have a destination wedding planner, and this destination wedding planner can also work closely with a local wedding planner, and then it's easier. And also there are some different countries around the world that they are also promoting their destination as Barcelona as a destination wedding. You have Mexico Tourism Board, Italy Tourism Board, Seychelles, Mauritius, so different, Switzerland as well, Ireland. So different tourism boards, they are also now promoting their destination in this segment because it has a lot of potential. Because destination weddings, also you have a pre-wedding, you have a post-wedding. So you need to look for a live city, a live destination, because after the wedding, the guests, they can spend a few days, and also you need a city with things to do. In this sense, Barcelona, for example, is a very vibrant city. So it's plenty of festivals, museums, nightlife, even our lifestyle. So this is also important. Once the couple, they choose the destination, also they want to show off the destination to the guest, I think.
I think so as well, and you are right. Just to know the culture is so important, but weddings itself are, so many things can invariably go wrong. So if you're in a country that you're not familiar with and you don't know the right people, just something like having a plan B for the weather, and just knowing where to go and who to contact if something does happen. I can't stress enough how important it is. And to have the relationship like we had. So it's all about collaborating and relations.
Yeah, also we always suggest to work with locals. For example, even a photographer, they know the perfect backdrops, when the light is better, because they are from there. So if you bring another photographer, then you will need more time to discover the best shoot. And so that's why we always, in terms of gastronomy as well, flowers, that's why we recommend to use always locals.
I could not agree more. And that's why I was trying to stress the tourism that's involved with a destination wedding. It's not just the wedding planner and the hotel. It goes down to the photographers, to the activities, to the videographers, to the florists. There are so many that depend on a destination wedding, for their tourism and livelihood. And that's what I was trying to bring everyone together on this. People seem to be shy, though. They're not asking any questions.
I'm going to look through. That's what I've been doing, and I've put the spotlight here on Wisdom Asadi. Thank you for joining us. And if I can see your application here with the Ghana Tourism Authority, and you're the Deputy Director of Product Development and Investments. So I thought it would be very interesting to hear from you in Ghana. Are there destination weddings in Ghana, or I'm just curious because Ghana is such a popular place in West Africa?
Yes, thank you. My name is Wisdom Ahaji, as you pronounce. Yes, I put the reason for joining this presentation. As I introduce myself, I'm a product development officer and investment, and even though wedding is a big issue in Ghana, as some of you might know, but we don't have it as a package to be presented as a tourism. So I joined this presentation just to pick experience and ideas, then probably see how best, if possible, how it can be initiated in Ghana. Yes, that is why I joined this presentation. Thank you.
And I think, and I don't know if you already joined our Nancy's group, and this is exactly, we're just starting with these interest groups. It's very new. And it would be great if Ghana and you would come and join Nancy. And that would also probably open up, I think, a lot of connection and business opportunities, not only for Ghana, for others that are joining us. Stephen, our friend in New York, our British friend in New York, raised his hand. Stephen, the microphone is yours.
Okay, thank you.
By the way, thank you so much.
Thank you, Jorgen, and good afternoon to everyone. I am Stephen Brown, as Jorgen had said, and I do have my own company after retiring from American Airlines. And my company now is a travel company called Llewellyn Dolphin Travel. And I would like to say, living here in New York, especially dealing with this COVID crisis, I have found a lot of people have been innovative in doing lots of their weddings. Many of them have been doing it in the parks, the gardens, as well as one I saw last year at the zoo. The couple, they loved animals so much that they wanted to be a part of the animals there in the zoo. And I think it's really fantastic, you know, that people are finding ways to get around what's happening now in the world, you know, due to COVID. I've also spoken with a lot of my clients who wanted to do destination weddings. So what they've been doing, as Nancy had spoken about, they're doing small weddings in their hometowns, and then they're waiting until everything is quite clear to travel. So they will do like a larger wedding with their families and friends in a lovely destination. And Diana would know about Jamaica, because lots of people, they want to do weddings in Jamaica. A few years ago, I did a lovely wedding at the Half Moon Hotel in Jamaica, which was really lovely. And the weather, of course, did not want to behave. And later on in the afternoon, the rain came, but I had made, you know, plan B options. So what we did, we moved inside and everybody had a blast. So those same people actually who had visited Jamaica at that time and attended the wedding, they've been asking about, okay, well, what about going to other areas in Jamaica as well as in the Caribbean? And St. Kitts has a beautiful area there at the Marriott, and now they have the Park Hyatt Hotel, which will accommodate a lot of beautiful weddings. So I am looking forward to, and I know that this too shall pass, and everything will be fine later on. Thank you.
No, thank you very much, Nancy. I'm just curious, and I don't know if you want. I don't want to put you on the spot, but I'm curious. We have Mohammed Carter joining us from the UAE, and
Okay.
I've always wondered. I don't know if you want to say anything. If not, I understand, because you haven't raised your hand, so I'm putting you on the spot here. But I
Well,
did.
I'm going to put it on the spot too, because that's one destination I have not been to. I know a lot of people there. I have colleagues there, but I would love to hear what honeymoons and weddings are like there.
Mohammed, do you want to say anything on this, or if you do, just unmute yourself?
I could say good evening, first of all. It's
Good evening.
after midnight here in the United Arab Emirates.
Right.
Therefore, it's quite late. So thank you so much, Jürgen. Thank you, everyone, for allowing me to say something. Very pleased with these webinars and set of discussions. to remain positive. Weddings and honeymooners still a very vital part of our business. Therefore, it's to hear this kind of positive vibe, the innovation ideas still are very keen to continue celebrating and doing their weddings on honeymooners. From Ras Al Khaimah, the fourth largest emirate in the UAE, 1 hour from, or 45 minutes specifically, from Dubai Airport North. We have done several destination weddings the last few years, basically before COVID, and predominantly from the region, the GCC, and from India. A few came from Europe, but the majority still came from India due to the flight distance, of course, from India to United Arab Emirates. And we have seen a very positive response from several partners in regards to arranging or hosting their destination wedding in Ras Al Khaimah in United Arab Emirates. So far, the regulation and the requirement here are still challenging, of course. We need to maintain all the guidelines, but we hope by quarter 4 2021 moving forward, things should be in a more positive direction and we could welcome more destination weddings. Thank you, Jürgen, once again. Thank you, everyone.
No, thank you, Mohammed, for allowing me to put you on the spot, but I think it's so important. You represent such a unique destination, what is kind of a new destination. I know you're not new in the sense that your emirate hasn't been around, but you know you're fairly new, just a few years old, where people started talking about traveling to where you are, and you're very progressive. And so that's why I thought it would be very good to hear from you. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Jürgen. Thanks once again.
Thank you. And I'm wondering, I mean, we have a number of interesting people here on this forum. And so if anyone else wanted to add to it, just simply raise your hand. But maybe we can go back also to Barcelona or Nancy. But what I'm wondering, it is not only the wedding itself, because the wedding, of course, is a one-time event. There's also renewal of vows and other things what are part of your business. Maybe you can tell us a little bit more about that.
Yes, thank you. I call it romance tourism. I don't say travel because, again, I have to say that tourism is a livelihood for so many people. So for me, romance tourism are, first of all, I was asking people what they see as a shift. For me personally, I see as a shift from weddings from 2020 to 2021, or right now, more smaller intimate weddings. Also elopements. Elopements are very popular right now. But as far as romance travel, you know, a lot of people, they do their vow renewal, they do anniversaries. You know, that's very popular. And then of course, honeymoon travel. So, you know, the tourism starts the minute you call, you know, a travel agent or a destination wedding planner or a wedding planner. And then you have the hotels, you have the villas, you have the list goes on, the DMCs, and I'm looking on the list, and it looks like there are some DMCs on here right now. So I was really hoping that people would contribute how you know the pandemic affected them and what they're doing to move forward. Have you tried anything that worked and what didn't work? Do you have any strategies that you would like to share? Any ideas? Any tips?
Yeah, and we can definitely go in this, and we go one by one. Maybe we can also do a poll to include those that have not been able to join us live. But we have Cleo Henry. And Cleo, I don't know if you're in Argentina. I see you put in as a country Argentina. I just wanted to verify where you're calling us from, and thanks for participating. Could you unmute yourself also, please?
Great. Hello, everyone. I'm really in Antigua and Barbuda.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh. No one likes a bragger.
Yes, I'm way down in the island chain. I'm in the middle of the island chain.
At Sandals, your health and safety is our top priority, which is why we created our Platinum Protocol of Cleanliness. Now, you can have the peace of mind of knowing that while you're creating your wedding celebration, we're taking care of the rest. Sandals was built on dreams. Dreams of romantic escapes, endless possibilities, magical moments, and new beginnings. At Sandals, dreams of happily ever after still come true with a free wedding or a fully customizable one. You can feel safe saying I do to a wedding beneath a gazebo in a lush tropical garden. Or walking down a white sand aisle with an impossibly turquoise sea as your backdrop. Or even floating above the sea in an open-air, over-the-water chapel. Our venues are found in wide-open spaces, nature-made for love to blossom. Best of all, even your friends and family who can't travel with you can still be a part of your special day. Because Sandals is offering live stream services of your wedding ceremony. And while we've led the industry in health and safety protocols for nearly 40 years, our resorts are even safer and more romantic than ever before, offering you a wedding free of worries and filled with love. That includes reducing the capacity of our venues and putting more physical distance between your guests. Your guests will still have a picture-perfect view of the ceremony, but they'll be seated further apart. At your reception, instead of tables for 8, we'll have the same size tables, but only seat 6 guests per table. And we've eliminated buffets and specialty food stations, so all food will be plated and served by Sandals staff wearing masks. At Sandals, the honeymoon of your dreams begins the moment you say, I do. And we are once again setting a new standard of excellence with our Platinum Protocol of Cleanliness to ensure it's unforgettable and worry-free. With extensive research from local ministries and health officials, the Center for Disease Control and the World Health Organization, we've instituted advanced hygiene practices across 18 touch points. A triple check system that includes inspecting, cleaning, and sanitizing hard surfaces and common areas every 20 minutes. Adding auto-dispensing hand sanitizing stations throughout the resort. To ensure the utmost safety, Sandals will be using hospital-grade disinfectants, electrostatic sprayers for advanced cleaning, UV lighting equipment to inspect cleanliness, and air duct sanitization for each room before every guest's arrival. We've gone so far as to steam clean and sanitize carpeting and flooring prior to arrivals, and placing personal hand sanitizers in every guest room. For added safety, all staff members are required to wear protective face gear at all times. And from now on, guests will be able to begin their Sandals experience before even leaving their house. Guests can check in online at home, which lets them bypass the front desk and go directly to their rooms. Stricter physical distancing protocols have also been put in place in every part of the resort. In addition, all of our spa facilities and sports equipment will be sanitized before and after use with hospital-grade disinfectants. We're also committed to providing a dedicated quality inspection team at each resort to ensure strict compliance and implementation of these safety protocols, so that our guests can enjoy a 5-star luxury-included vacation that's 100% worry-free. We can't wait to help make your dreams come true with a destination wedding and honeymoon at Sandals. And while you're creating 1,000 worry-free moments, we'll take care of the rest.
And romance tourism is huge for us. It's one of our major markets. We are 4 times world recognized honeymoon and wedding destination awardees. So it's one of our top markets. How has COVID affected us? It has in a lot of ways with airlift. Okay. So one of our major markets is Canada, which is
Okay.
to the Caribbean right now, as well as England, UK, and Europe. So England is our feeder, and boats are closed. Mainly, we do have some flights coming out, but of course, with vaccinations on the rise and the need for vaccinations, a lot of the larger groups are not able to come. We're down to 25 for weddings. And so that's the number we're working with currently. But a lot of our planning is done within the hotel properties, mainly in the hotel properties, because a lot of our hotels are focused on weddings and honeymoons. So for those properties, you would find their in-house wedding planners that take care of everything from the arrangements, once they get the bookings, all the way through to the flowers and the cars and spots for photography and the likes. Sandals is one of our properties. It's big on destination weddings, and they have an amazing package. There's also the number of hotels, but I'm going to share a link which is connected to our tourism authority that would also provide you with some additional information. There is no wait time to get married in Antigua and Barbuda. So you can come down once you have the valid documents, then persons are able to go ahead and do those weddings.
Yeah, we will
I love it.
maybe
Yeah.
a special session also on Antigua, like we did one on St. Kitts recently. So hopefully, I don't know if you already joined us as a member, but please do. And we'll be happy
Sure
to
will.
update you specifically. You have our friends, the Sandals down there, so it would be a wonderful destination to focus on. And I know how much the Sandals is focusing on destination weddings specifically. Yeah, and thank you so much, Cleo. We have Paddy Paul, and from what I can see, Paddy is joining us from Sri Lanka. Is that correct?
Yes, you are correct.
I've been trying to remember the greeting, and I've been to Sri Lanka a number of times. You have such a beautiful greeting, and I cannot now remember it. Help me out.
Ayubowan.
That's what it was. Yes, yes, wonderful.
So I'm based in Sri Lanka. We do weddings in Sri Lanka and the Maldives, which are both very, very popular island destinations. We have amazing locations, hill country, the beaches, and I heard somebody saying somebody got married in the zoo. We have a lot of wildlife parks as well. So we are a nice small niche country for weddings and honeymoons. And we do a lot of destination weddings. Of course, India is a very popular, Sri Lanka is a very popular destination for India because of its proximity, and they also have very, very large numbers. So because of the easy accessibility. Having said that, we have a lot of people traveling from the UK, from Europe, mostly from Europe and the UK, who come to Sri Lanka for their weddings, and also a number of them come to Sri Lanka for their honeymoons. So it's actually really a great destination. And I'm wondering if Nancy will be able to share also the contacts of all those who are here so that we can network maybe and help each other to get our destinations up and running post-COVID. Okay, I'm not going to talk too much about the current situation. Our borders are open and we have some restrictions, but there is no quarantine restrictions. So at the moment, we have local weddings, a number of local weddings. We can go up to 150 with all the social distancing and following the health protocol. And I'm quite confident that by end of the year, hopefully, that the entire world will majorly get vaccinated, and that could also help people to travel around. And because we are getting requests now for weddings and for incentives. So let's stay positive and hope the business picks up. Thank you.
And just to add to it, Patty, and I followed Sri Lanka for many years. It's actually one of the first overseas countries when I still lived in Germany before I immigrated to the US in the 70s, traveled to. I went to Hikaduva. I never forget this when I was a youngster, like 18, 19 years old, had a great time. But I've been back to Sri Lanka many, many times, and we've worked with Sri Lanka and followed through times. In my opinion, Sri Lanka is one of the most resilient destinations in the world. When it comes to disturbances, Sri Lanka has its handful, both anything from civil unrest to tsunami and other issues. And every time Sri Lanka seems to be able to manage out of it. In my opinion, every time I travel to Sri Lanka, even in times when people told me it's not a good time to go to Sri Lanka, always felt very safe, very welcome. Our good friends from Jetwings, who've been a good supporter for my publication for eTopo News, always made sure everyone, at least staying in their hotels, and I believe other hotels are the same, feel very comfortable and safe. So it's a wonderful destination, and weddings, and specifically Indian weddings, are great business. Possibly not only for Sri Lanka, maybe I can go back to Madrid and to Barcelona and ask Indian weddings there. I can tell you here in Hawaii, I have a friend who's who runs a resort outside Waikiki, and he said, don't tell anyone, but we love Indian weddings, but we don't want anyone else to know about it because it's such great business to have Indian weddings. And I can testify to this. A good friend of mine who is Indian American, when he was married in Delhi, I traveled to Delhi, and I cannot believe, I mean, this guy is not a millionaire, but this was a wedding, I think, done for millionaires and billionaires, and they're going all out. And if Sri Lanka gets some of this business, it would definitely help. But how is this in other destinations like Barcelona? Do you guys cater to different type of cultural weddings? Yeah, maybe you can unmute yourself, Mirai.
Okay, so in Barcelona, precisely in 2013, we have a very big Indian wedding. It was the Mittal wedding, and it's why or when we realized at the tourism board, why not to promote this this segment, because this family approached us to our Barcelona Convention Bureau, because it was about 1,000 people, more or less. And they approached us as tourism board in terms to find the best venues, some support, some help in terms of it was celebrated in the National Art Museum of Catalonia in Montjuïc, which is a very big and nice building. And they approach us to help because they need help with the organization and everything. So in 2013, it was when our CEO, he realized why not to promote Barcelona as a destination wedding, because there were a lot of people coming from India, but you have Indian people from all over the world. So that's why, and when we start to think about this new segment.
How is this? One of the participants here mentioned, I think this was Professor Snow White from Serbia, mentioned the challenges for people from Serbia to do a wedding in the United States, for example. How is this with the European Union and Spain? Are there visa challenges for countries, maybe some countries more than other countries? Right, I'm just wondering if you knew.
Yeah, so for example, from Indian people, they need visas, of course, but then people coming from all over the world, from US or Europe, so they don't need the visa. So it's quite easy to celebrate a destination wedding.
And Nancy, I'm just wondering, we're talking about visas because this is really an international crowd.
Yes.
You're a destination planner in the US. I'm sure you have clients also from countries that may need visas to come here. Or you may celebrate weddings. You said there's a lot of legal work, specifically if the
Yes.
wedding is to be legalized. So do you have legal experts you work with, or are there companies that specifically deal with these international rules?
Yeah, and that's a really good question. So there are a lot of times when you will need a visa when you're traveling. So that's one thing that a wedding planner can help you with. And also another important thing to say is, I also have an IATA number. So I am also a dedicated IATA travel agency. So when you are doing a destination wedding, you had asked the question about using a wedding planner. At the very least, especially going internationally, you should use a travel agency that specializes in destination weddings because they will know the ins and outs, especially when it comes to international, when you do have the visas, because they do take care of that. So, we have third parties that we use to assist with the visas that are able to help you. I've done a lot of international weddings with the visas, and it's a whole different component, which is another reason that you should use a professional, quite honestly. And to go back to the Indian weddings, I have done, and they're just so wonderful to do. I mean, they're an event. They're a very, very large event. And they usually last 3 to 4 days, and everyone goes. I mean, if you're invited to an Indian wedding, it doesn't matter what part of the world, everyone's going to come and everyone's going to join there. So it really helps with the tourism.
No, and besides wedding, there's more to the wedding market than the ceremony or ceremonies altogether, because we're also talking about honeymoon. And
Right.
Is honeymoon always connected with the wedding, or could a honeymoon take place at a later time? So, for example, if you do your weddings at home because of COVID, you can still plan your trip of your lifetime, right? As a honeymoon.
You can. So, if a lot of people are doing a smaller wedding now, they're waiting to go on their honeymoon to a different destination. But then a great thing, I'm really, really looking forward to, September, October, and traveling. And I think things might be a little better then, you never know. But so if you do a destination wedding, and say you do it in Barcelona, I mean, that's just perfect because you can have your wedding in Barcelona and then, go and do a variety of different places to honeymoon. Same, they were speaking about Antigua. I absolutely love Antigua. That was where I honeymooned. So, and it is very popular for destination weddings as well. So you can stay at one of the gorgeous resorts, and there's so many of them on Antigua, Barbuda, even go over the Jumbie Bay, and then still have your guests leave and go on your honeymoon. So that's just a great combination.
Maybe what we should do is try to collect in the future in this room a list of very unique honeymoon opportunities in the world, specifically when it comes.
I would love that. I have been doing this for 25 years, and I love to learn. There was somebody on from the UAE. Why I've sent people there and know people there. I've personally never been there, so I would love to know more information about that. I don't know too much about Sri Lanka, so I mean, I think we all can learn off of each other. I think we all can make connections. I think we all can in some way help one another, because we're all in this together, and it will come, it's going to get better. But until then, I just think all these connections are wonderful.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And so I'm wondering if there's any. We are coming to the end of this session, and I think it was very interesting. We had a relatively small crowd. It's a Saturday. But I can see we're really now at, let me see, 7,103 that are live on our various platforms as we speak. So the crowd is quite good, and people are interested in Honeymoon. It's a discussion I think we need to continue, and specifically maybe helping out these destinations and special destinations that are catering to the destination wedding market, profile them a little bit more, because there is so much out there, and of course a wedding, a honeymoon, it has to be unique. Everyone has different tastes and different expectations when it comes to such a trip, and it always has to be perfect. There is no alternative not being perfect, and that's why we need people like Nancy and other wedding planners in the world that can make absolutely sure it will be. Nancy, I don't know if there's anything you wanted to add. If there's any other questions from anyone, please raise your hand now. But Nancy, of course, you have the last word before I remind everyone where to find us. And from my end, I don't see any more questions right now. But Nancy, I wanted to really thank you, and also Miraya, I don't even want to try to pronounce this, in Barcelona, and Cleo and everyone else, Patty, Mohammed, Stephen, and Professor Snow White, and everyone else who has contributed today. Really appreciate it. And this is really an interesting subject to continue, I believe. Nancy, the floor is yours.
Oh, thank you. First of all, it was so nice talking to everybody and chatting to everybody. And I am really thankful for the World Tourism Network, because, I am a small business. And as I said a couple of times on here, I really think we need to support each other and stick together on this. And it was wonderful when I joined this. I think, in October when you first started it, and just to be on the Zooms and to be able to see what other people are doing and communicating with other people. I really hope you consider, being active in the special interest group, so we can keep doing this and sharing ideas and learning from one another and about all the different destinations, because I really do, I'm a strong believer in learning from one another. And I put my information in there. Barcelona, your information's in there. You'll be the first on my list once we can get flying, right?
No,
yes.
I think we should give Mirai also. You have contributed to this. We all love Barcelona, and I really hope Barcelona will join our initiative. As Nancy rightfully said, we really see ourselves as a new discussion point, more as a grassroots organization. That's how we started in Berlin at this ITB that never took place. And this has been a year ago now, and we've grown, and we're not trying to invade the space of the WTTC or the UNWTO spaces in the political arena. WTTC with the largest companies in the world. We see ourselves more as someone who really we're trying to promote mostly the smaller and medium-sized businesses with the public sector, and give small and business-sized industry a more important voice in the world. And we're getting there. We have members now in 127 countries, many tourism boards, many ministers of tourism, but even more companies like everyone you saw here today, joining us not only at our events, also there's in discussions we have, sometimes they're never made public. So we're trying to help this industry, and we really hope Barcelona will see the value in joining us. But regardless, I wanted to say thank you for being a part of this group today. And so when do you think we can all have a big celebration in Barcelona again?
Hopefully soon. Hopefully soon. Thank you very much for the invitation. It has been a pleasure. And just I want to say to everyone, stay strong, stay positive, because this it will be soon. It will be better. So stay strong. And as Nancy said, we are all in this together. So I hope to see you soon in Barcelona. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, and how do you say good evening in Catalonia, right? That's what you guys speak in Barcelona?
Yes, we said bona nit.
Bona nit. Okay, bona nit.
Bona nit. Thank you.
We say aloha here in Hawaii. And Nancy and everyone else, you have a nice Saturday. Rest, enjoy your weekend, and please join us tomorrow if you can for our African Tourism Board event. It's going to be fun, and specifically on March 5th. Keep this on your mind. We have two events, one ideal for North America and Europe, and the other one ideal for Europe, Middle East, Asia, on celebrating our 1 year discussion with many people around the world. I understand we have the Minister of Indonesia will address us, and it'll be an interesting event. Okay, good night, good morning, good evening. Bye-bye. Take care.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.